my name is Vienna Lafrenz. I am an integrative medicine doctor. I received my PhD at Quantum University. So I went into natural medicine because prior to that I was working as an occupational therapist. And I was seeing that we weren't treating the whole person. We were really just looking at symptoms and physical conditions. And when I started delving into the natural medicine way of looking at health, then you actually get a true healing that occurs. I've always been interested in acupuncture and acupressure. And so I learned that initially as learning the acupressure piece and started implementing that into my practice. But I really got into the Reiki becoming a Reiki practitioner and seeing how energy really influences people. And as I started bringing those into my OT practice, I saw a huge change in the way in which people responded, how they recovered, and so on. So I did have some previous experience prior to going into quantum, which is why I wanted to learn more. I was actually at lunch with a colleague friend of mine. She was also an OT at the time. And we were both really wanting to go into more of the natural medicine realm, become a natural doctor, whatever realm we could get into. And she told me about quantum. And that night, I got back to my hotel room, I looked them up, I made contact with them. The very next day they called me, and I actually enrolled the very next day. Well, professionally, I've been able to open up my own private practice here in Washington State, and I love it. As a result of that, I'm able to see clients and work with them, identify what their energetic needs are, and being able to resolve some of those needs. There are so many healing modalities and tools that I use. Many of that is the intuition that you develop when you're with a client to know truly what it is that they're looking for and what is it that they need. But then having the other modalities to back it up. So I use a lot of quantum biofeedback, which really is a phenomenal tool to identify energetically what's going on in their body. But then I like to do a lot of body work as well, which is I love that part because that's when you really get to connect with the client. So I usually get here a good hour and a half before any of my clients show up. Main reason is I like to make sure that the environment is welcoming, that the energy's been cleared, but then I also do remote work. So it's not just what I do here in the clinic. I also do some work over the phone or through Skype or so on, where I actually can do some remote work from people. I have some that I'm working from in Ohio, Michigan, Arizona, Alaska, California, where I can actually work with them, and I usually focus on those at night. I love my clients, and they love me back, and I know it because I feel their openness with me. They also realize that what they get here in this practice is so much different than what they get in a normal setting, and that they get literally 2 hours of my undivided attention where I'm not working with somebody else, I'm just with them. Look at your whole person. Don't just focus on physical, don't just focus on emotional. Look at the whole body and really think about frequencies. The amount of frequencies that you're either bringing in or taking out. So living your life in gratitude, love, all of those high frequencies, because they have a huge impact on everything we do. Complementary alternative medicine is the only way of the future. I believe the role of complementary alternative medicine is to get people off medications, plain and simple. First of all, I love Quantum University. I love Dr. Paul and Alexi, who have really been the visionary people behind Quantum University. They made the university so affordable that people can actually go that typically are working full time. I would recommend Quantum University to anybody who's interested in natural medicine. And part of the reason why is they've designed the whole curriculum to provide a clinician a complete balance. My most surprising one, I was doing a quantum biofeedback session on a client who had Graves' disease, which is a thyroid disorder. And as I'm working with her, she indicated that her eyes were getting smaller, and she kind of freaked out a little bit, and she screamed and she said, "My eyelids feel really heavy." And I said, "Well, grab a mirror, let's look and see what's going on." And she looked and she said, "My eyes are getting smaller, is that normal?" And I said, "Well, if your thyroid is working, then yes." And so after that, she went and had her endocrinologist and went and had things tested, and her thyroid was looking so much better from just one biofeedback session. So yes, that was probably my most amazing one, to know that through the quantum field, you can still have a huge healing.